play reggae strum. There's actually 3 different things going on here all at the same time. I'll break it down for you and teach you how to play the reggae strum, so go get ready, because I think we're gonna uke. Hey guys, this is Tony from I Think I'm Gonna Uke. In this lesson, I want to teach you how to play reggae strum. So just like rock or swing music, reggae style also emphasizes the 2nd and the 4th beat of a measure, but even more so. So for reggae strum, you're just really strumming only on the 2nd and the 4th beat with a down strum. Now there are 2 variations though, so depending on the timing of the song, or what's called the time signature, it's either going to be 2/4 or 4/4 time. So it'll be something like a 1-2, 1-2, or maybe a 1-2-3-4, 1-2-3-4. So depending on whether you're playing a 1 measure or 2 measure rhythm, the last beat of that measure will play a down strum and then an up strum on the last 8th notes. So it's something like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and... All right, let's practice this a couple times, because there's a lot of things going on at the same time, both with our right hand and with our left hand. So we're going to learn the right hand technique first, because that's really just the strumming, and then we'll dive into what the left hand's doing. So first, let's just play a C. This is a C major. Now this particular chord shape is a closed C position, which I'll get into a little bit later in the video, but for right now, just try your best to play this C shape here. Now if you can play a B flat, it's the same shape. You just slide it down 2 frets. That's a C major. So don't worry about that right now, but it is important to try to cover all the strings. So what we're going to do is we're going to play on beats 2 and beats 4, only a down strum. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, now we're going to add that double strum at the end. So it'll be a down strum on 2, and then on the 4th beat, we're going to play down, up. So it'll sound something like this. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. Now you might still need a little bit more practice, which is fine, but we kind of got a handle on what the right hand's doing. So now let's dive into what the left hand's doing. Now the left hand's actually doing 2 different techniques at the same time. So one is muting the chord, and the other is playing a closed chord position. Now closed chords are another chord voicing, which means another way to play the same chord. So you're playing all 4 strings, and there's no open strings. Now if you didn't know already, but common chord shapes like a C or an A maybe, you're holding down just 1 string or 2 strings, and the other untouched strings are called open strings, which makes it the whole chord shape an open chord shape. Now you can play alternate chord shapes for the same chord. So like our famous C major here, this is an open C, but you can play a closed C. It's the exact same C major chord. Same pitch, same octave, same everything. We're just playing in a closed position. Now same thing with your A major. You can play an open A like this, but you can also play a closed A. That's the same A. They're both A major. This is just the closed chord shape of that A. Now, if you notice, yes, you do have to bar a little bit, so this is a big reason to keep practicing barring chords so that you can play these closed chord shapes. And that's really key or important to playing reggae style. It's not necessary, but it really, really helps out. If playing open chords versus closed chords is something new to you, then I've got a few other videos that kind of dive a little bit deeper into that, so maybe check those out after this one. And while you're at it, please do click like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And while you're playing closed chord shapes, your left hand also needs to mute the strings at the same time using a technique called the left hand mute. So what that means is that your left hand is muting the sound of the ringing of the strings by letting off the pressure. We're going to let off about half of the pressure that it takes to make a clean note here. So let's try it with our closed C shape like this. We're going to strum, and then we're going to quickly release our fingers. Now we're not taking our fingers all the way off the neck or off the string. We're just reducing the pressure that we're putting on the strings, but we're doing it quickly, okay? So it makes a muting sound like this. Alright, so it might take a few times to kind of get that down and to really get that fine-tuned control, but you can try it. So we'll just do a regular strum of a C, and then we'll mute it this time. Now, the strum is exactly the same. It's really your left hand that's just letting the pressure off, and it deadens those strings to mute the chord. All right, now let's add all three techniques together. So our right hand is still doing the same thing. We're still strumming on the down strum on beats 2 and beats 4. Now it does depend on the song. There are some song melody, like reggae song melodies, where it carries over 2 measures instead of every 1 measure. But kind of for this exercise or for this lesson, we're going to add that down up strum at the end of every measure, okay? Because we're just practicing to kind of get it down. So when we put it all together, remember we're playing a closed chord position with our left hand, and we're going to mute the chord at the same time. So let's play through holding a closed C position. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2. Now, if playing closed chord positions is still new for you, or maybe it's a little bit tough at first, then definitely you have to keep practicing to get comfortable with this before you add in that left hand mute technique. So practice these closed chord shapes, because really that unlocks a lot of the ukulele neck. And once you start to get comfortable with these shapes, you'll notice that other closed chord shapes, like if we went from a C to an A, there's very little movement that we have to do. I don't know if you can notice that, but there's an A, there's a C. The movement in closed chord shapes is so minimal. That's why these are really powerful, because one, you get a lot of different sounds, you can play other voicings, but also your chord progressions become a little bit easier. So you can change from A to C. Now I know that might be a lot to digest about the reggae strum, because it really does include 3 different techniques all rolled into one strum. And it does need some practice, but it gives you something to work on, something to practice little by little, day by day. So what I'll do for you is I'll leave a link to Bob Marley's famous 3 Little Birds song in the description box. And while you're there, do go ahead and give me a like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to support the channel, there's ways to do that too. I'll leave links in the description box. Well, until next time, have fun playing, and God bless, and I'll see you in the next one.